Let's talk about setting up your child's brokerage account. The first thing I want you to understand is that we are going to be setting up a custodial brokerage account. I want to make sure, volume is good. What is a custodial brokerage account? Well, it's funny. I did this Google search. It gives you the ability to control the age at which your child will have access to this account. Every state is different. Primarily, it's between the age of 18 and 25. If you want it to be any different than that, it's typically going to be done through a trust. And we're not going to cover that in this training. Today, we're just going to talk about getting the account set up. The idea behind this is that you, as the custodian, can set up the account, you can fund the account, you can make investment decisions, and that your child has zero access to the account until they reach the age that you've either set or that the state that you live in requires the account to become theirs. This is a great way to save for some of those life expenses that are going to come up without the worry of whether or not your child's going to get their hands on the money and do something that you don't want them to do. Let's talk about tax implications. The beauty of this is that the money grows and then is then taxed at the child's tax rate once the child reaches 18. Typically, your child at the age of 18 is going to be in a lower tax bracket than you will be at, say, the age of 60, 65, or 40, 50, whatever your age will be when they turn 18. So there's a tax advantage to this as well as the custodial rights access to this. These all could have been in the why video, but they're in the how video. Now, the next decision that you need to make is where do you want to open up the custodial brokerage account? The easiest decision is that if you already have a brokerage account, open it up at the same place. There's not really a reason other than personal preference to have this anyplace else. So for example, my brokerage account is with TD Ameritrade. That made it a very easy place to go to set up my custodial accounts. They were years ago, they were Ameritrade, they were Scottrade. Just through acquisitions, I've kind of been migrated. Merrill Lynch, great. Fidelity, great. Worked with them before. Charles Schwab, great. E-Trade, great. You'll see that there's a lot of options here. Just trying to make sure. The one thing that you want to avoid, I don't know if I want to avoid the apps. So I have no idea if Robinhood even has a custodial brokerage account. I want to avoid them. We can get into the details of why, the way that they do order processing versus fee collection, and my belief is that over time that's going to become less prevalent and it's going to have more government regulation, which could have negative effect on the macro accounts. That wouldn't affect you as an individual, but stick to the major brokers. And throughout most of history, this has been a pretty steady decision. I mean, we can all talk about what happened in 2008. I don't want to put extenuating risk on the table, but it's just something to consider. Let's get back to setting up the account, and we'll talk about that on another video, and I promise you I'll post it in here so you don't think that I'm forgetting anything. So let's go to TD Ameritrade. All right. Super simple. Open new account. And joint minor. You can do your IRA through here. Joint tenants in common. Most common retirement education. You can actually do your 529s. You can do your Roth IRAs here. My kids' Roth IRAs are set up here, but we want to open up minor, guardian or conservatorship, joint tenants with rights to survivorship. Let's see here. This type of account, full ownership to all account holders, 2 or more adult owners, not a minor. When one owner dies, okay. Joint tenants, one owner dies, it's their estate. Guardianship or conservatorship. This account is opened by a court-appointed, let's see, sometimes used to save for children's education. Beneficiaries to use the assets as they wish when they reach a designated age. Here we go. UTMA, UGMA. Uniform Transfers to Minors Act, Uniform Gifts to Minors Act. A custodial account that is set up by an adult on behalf of a minor. All assets transfer to the beneficiary at an age of termination, 18 to 25, but depending on the state, No limits on contributions. Withdrawals must be made for the minor's benefit, not tax deferred. Taxes are based on the minor's tax rate. The custodian can be any adult. The minor must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. So open up this account. State of establishment. I'm not going to go through all of this. Ohio, minor's age. So you can see here between 21 and 25. When my stepmother passed away, she left money to two of her grandchildren, which I have zero relation to, that when she passed, my dad had me set up custodial accounts for them. Their parents are financial disasters, and one of them is now 16 and just reached out through my father to try to get access to his money. He needs $300 for some school trip. The beauty of this is that I'm able to tell them that even if someone put a gun to my head, now notice the way it's worded here, could not take money out of this account, even with a gun to my head. He has zero legal rights to do that. Yell, scream, sue, whatever. That's the beauty of these types of custodial accounts and the age that you set. I recommend, no. What I did personally is I set them to 25 years old. It gives me the ultimate protection to not have to deal with it. First name, middle name, last name. So this is the custodian's information. This would be all my information. Minor's information, phone number. I have read the privacy, continue to personal information. Just like every other account, they're forms. You fill them out, you click submit, you go to the next page, you fill it out, click the next page, boom, super easy. The beauty of having a traditional brokerage account, even though it's a custodial minor account, is that you can invest in any publicly traded asset. We primarily focus in on SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF, that has the 10.68 or 86% annualized return over every 10-year period. That makes it a nice, stable investment that allows us to plan for long-term goals. We do have the ability, when my daughter was born, and we talk about this in a different video, every year she gets $500 to invest in a stock. I think first time she did it was when she was 2 or 3, probably 3. 2 seems a little young. And it wasn't about teaching her how to pick stocks. It was an educational exercise about what stocks are. So asking her, what is your favorite thing? So when she was 3, it was Minnie Mouse. And then teaching her that Minnie Mouse is the intellectual property of Disney. Disney is a publicly traded company. How would you like to own part of Minnie Mouse? What? Doesn't really register or make sense. But then that $500 goes into Disney. The next year, it was Disney again. This last year, it was Barbie. So teaching her that Barbie is intellectual property of Mattel, and that Mattel is a company that we can buy. So now you own part of Barbie. What? She's 5 years old, and she has a basic understanding of what stocks are. So you can do that in your brokerage account as well. You don't have to pigeonhole yourself completely into the S&P 500, although you've got a higher likelihood of success by doing that. Now, when Tesla, before they did their first split 4 years ago, wouldn't it be 5? No, she could have been, because I opened this up the day after she was born. That one share that I bought her is now, I believe, 30 shares. And I do like to make investments like that every once in a while, but the bulk of the portfolio is S&P 500. You can make the individual decisions. Every part of our course is going to be about using the S&P 500, specifically SPY, because it's the easiest way to get predictable outcomes over the long term and allow us to plan to reach our goals. This is all very simple. Use this, use our calculator, figure out your monthly budget, set up automated contributions, do the annual review, fill in the holes when needed, and your kids are off to the races and ready for financial freedom. We're excited to have you on this journey with us. If you need any help, reach out to your coach, reach out to me, and we'll be happy to get this taken care of for you. Thank you.